Good day and welcome to the South Suburban Missionary Baptist Church midweek moments. We are your hosts for the month of July. I am Minister Stephen, and this is
his wife, Clinette Barrett.
And we are Team Barrett up in the house. The month of July, we'll be hosting a segment entitled Marriage Matters. And just a little bit about Team Barrett. We have been married for
14 years.
Y'all see she had to think about it a little bit?
No, I didn't.
Okay. We've been married 14 years. We've been together 15 years. And she's been my best friend all of that time. We have 2 beautiful children, Arnell and Tyler, and 6 grandkids. That's crazy, right? I know what y'all thinking. Y'all probably thinking y'all don't look old enough to have 6 grandkids, but we got 6 grandkids. And I am grateful to say that I met my queen, my best friend, and was able to marry my queen and my best friend. We are the marriage ministry leaders at South Suburban Missionary Baptist Church, where our pastor is Dr. Annette Jones. Toss it up, Pastor Jones. We love her to death. Marriage has always been a passion for us. We have been to a lot of different things as married couples, and in particular, we went to about 12 years ago. We went to a marriage retreat with our best friend Dale and Travara Scott and Kelly and Albert Abney, and we went to a retreat with a marriage ministry called C2B1, Couples Committed to Becoming
One.
And from that day forward, we just fell in love all over again, and we fell in love with this journey called marriage. And we fell so much in love with it to where we even became team leaders with C2B1. And with that being said, who would be the best first guest for us is our team leaders, our marriage ministry leader, Michelle and Michael Cooper. Hanging with the Coopers. Welcome to Coopers.
Hey. Hello.
How are you guys?
Great.
Well. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
We are great. It's so good to see you guys. We miss you guys like crazy. This whole pandemic thing got us all locked up and can't get to our friends and our counterparts, our likeness people. And so I'm glad that you guys are here. We're glad that you guys are here. So we're going to ask you guys the first question.
All right.
And our first question we're going to start off is, does marriage matters and why?
Wow. Yes, marriage does matter. The main reason is because it was ordained by God.
Okay.
That is the biggest reason.
And I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, what's that thing you see on social media? Marriage is just a piece of paper. Well, so is money, but you chase it every day. You know, money's a piece of paper, but you go out and chase it every day. Same with your marriage. You have to get out there and chase it every day. Marriage is the foundation of the family. Marriage is a strong family builds strong communities. Well, you can't have a strong family without a strong marriage. You know. So I think marriage definitely does matter. And quite honestly, when you think about couples who stay together for years, I think it was something in the news about one. Couples who stay together for years, and then one of them pass away, and then the other one doesn't have any say in the funeral, in the belongings, and anything that's not in their name. You know. So.
Yep.
I totally agree with everything you said. It is, marriage is like the backbone of a family. You don't see it too often nowadays where marriage is, especially in our culture, and you don't see too many strong Black marriages these days. And I always feel that when you are in company of like-minded people who have the same values as you, it's so good to connect with them so that you can encourage each other, especially in this journey called marriage, right? And Definitely. So I totally agree that marriage is the backbone. A question for you: do you find yourself arguing about issues involving others, particularly family?
Absolutely not.
No. We decided very early on in our marriage Kind of by accident, because right after we got married, we moved to I was stationed down in Fort Gordon, Georgia, so it was just us. It was just me, her, and the baby. And then we went to Ohio, and it was just us. Then we went to Indianapolis, it was just us. So we decided it was me and her against the world
from day one.
From day one. And it didn't really matter what family said, what family thought. It mattered because we wanted to glean from their experiences, but we had to lay our own foundation and build our own foundation. And we didn't allow outside issues and trouble affect us.
Absolutely. We, rely heavily on cleave, leave your family and cleave to one another, and I think that's Genesis 2:24. So that was,
you better preach,
our strength.
You better walk in your calling, preacher. That's something that we always say, like in the beginning, that's something we struggle with, was that letting family become an issue, right? And so it's something that we had to learn, like, that's a saying, like, I think like the girl said now, like, you see her, you see me, you see me, you see her. That's my best friend. That's our motto now.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is nothing that can come in between us. Yeah, can't nothing come in between us, especially family. Because at the end of the day, I got to lay my head next to this beautiful thing, and family going to be doing whatever they doing. Right. You know what I mean? So,
that includes your kids.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, because a lot of people focus so much time on their kids. Well, they're going to grow up, they're going to leave the house, and then y'all going to be sitting around looking at each other, trying to relearn each other, like at the beginning of COVID.
Yep. That's what I tell people all the time. They ask, do we want more kids? Absolutely not. 2 is enough. He can take one, I can take the other. It's equally fair. We got to go to war. We got each other back. Right. We good there.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking with kids, do you have any regular traditions or
like holidays, birthdays, or anniversaries that you do?
In the beginning, it was easy to celebrate holidays because typically, especially Christmas, like my family celebrated Christmas Eve and his family celebrated Christmas Day. So we was able to spend it with both families. And then as we began to have our own kids, we wanted to build our own traditions with them. So we kind of made our own, like, this is what we do. We're going to celebrate here. We're going to do this. Our biggest thing is birthdays. So whoever birthday it is, they get to choose the restaurant. Or they get to choose whether they're going to bring a friend or something. So, but now that the bigger kids are grown and gone, we just decide that we're just going to vacation.
Right.
So for
every
every holiday, we going somewhere.
Yeah. For my birthday, it's wheels up somewhere.
That's nice. Yeah. You know what we do? Now, I told you we got 6 grandkids. Right. So for the last, I think the oldest grandchild is 9 now. And so what we do now, everybody, especially like the holidays, so like Christmas, everybody come to our house, spend the night Christmas Eve, and Thanksgiving, Big Mama always got to cook on Thanksgiving. Lately my daughter Tyler and my daughter-in-law Dominique, they've been trying to step in and do it, lately, which is cool, but I still don't tell them. I hope they don't watch this, but I still prefer boo things.
Right. They do good. They do good, but it's not the same.
It ain't the same. It's not the same. But they all get down. They all learn from Big Mama, right? And so like we love that type of stuff. Birthdays, I think for every of our grandkids' first birthday, we like to host our first grandkid birthday. Yeah, we like to do their first birthday. That's like our tradition now, where we make sure they get a pot. That's a hint, like, listen, this is your first birthday, so you don't get a training toilet. This is something that you need to be doing. One, if you want to keep coming to Pawpaw and Nana house, you need to be potty trained. So, birthdays, we pretty much the same way. We try to surprise each other, and I think we never ever like not had a cake on whoever birthday was, and for the longest it was always strawberry shortcake. Everybody had a strawberry shortcake from Jules on their birthday, no matter how old you was turning. And listen, I blame them. That's why I'm so chuffed, is because of them strawberry shortcake. All right, it was so good that I'm addicted to it now. But you know, that's how we do it. Anniversaries. We're getting to doing all that fancy stuff now with the anniversaries, and I'm enjoying this, you know, and learning from you guys a little bit, taking some nuggets from you guys. I'm trying to make sure that boo thing life matters. You know what I'm saying? So I got to keep her happy.
This year we'll be celebrating 30 years, and we'll be spending our anniversary in Hawaii.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Don't give her no ideas, Mike. We don't need no help in that department. Them the wrong nuggets I was talking about, brother. Well, I hope you guys
16 more years to get ready. 16 more years to get ready.
16 more. I'm gonna have to save every quarter I get for 16 years to make sure I take her to Hawaii for 30 years.
I'm gonna hold you on that now.
I'm about to say we'll play this tape back then.
Yeah, hopefully we done something else by then. Question.
Yeah.
Can your spouse trust you when never use his or her past against them when you are angry?
Yeah.
That would be a yes.
Yeah.
We set boundaries in the beginning. We don't, yell at each other, scream at each other, cuss each other out. What happens in our household between us stays between us. We just never put each other on blast.
We don't put each other on blast. We don't dog each other out in front of other people. The kids and the grandkids know if they ask a question, they pretty much gonna get the exact same answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get it at the exact same time.
And they say that's scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we've learned to think alike and react alike. But realistically,
It's about safety.
Yeah, we've learned to create a safe space because you can say something, and once it's said, you can't get it back.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I don't care how many times you apologize. I don't care how many times you say I'm sorry. I don't care how many times you say I didn't mean it. Once it's out there, you can't get it back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is so true. One thing that I can say is we've been together 15 years, and I've never, ever, 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 ever cussed at my wife. Never. Arguments is very few because I don't believe in arguing with somebody that I love. I'm supposed to be her protector. So how am I going to argue with her about her feelings, right? So if those are her feelings, I need to say, okay, I feel that you're saying that I hurt your feelings this time. Well, that's not what my intentions was. I apologize for you perceiving it that way. Or if I came off that way, I am deeply sorry because I never want to hurt you. And that's pretty much like every time, like literally, like it's not necessarily like pacifying her. It's like literally ensuring her that I will always be her protector. I don't know if you can see it right now, but the shirt I have on says her rock, right? Okay. So I will always want to be her rock, something that she can stand on, stand against, lean against. And if she needs to throw it at somebody, I'm going hard for it. You know what I mean? So I can't be negative to her. I can't be like violent or like upset with her. Especially look at that face. Who could be mad at her? This face is just so cute. Like I can't. Like I get all mushy and like all weak. Like that's my kryptonite. So I totally get that. Like we never argue in front of our kids because we don't pretty much argue, and so we can't argue in front of our kids. And so that is. Oh, there you go. You can see my shirt. Her rock, and hers say his piece. And so
nice.
We got to maintain that for each other, right? Because everybody else is giving us that all the other stuff. So we have to be there for each other.
I know for us, we always say correct each other in private.
Yep.
And then defend each other in public.
Oh.
So I'm coming against you whenever you can't come tell me nothing about my husband.
Yep.
You can go to him, tell him anything about me. We're going to defend each other in public, and we're going to protect each other. I mean, correct each other in private.
Right.
That's why I be trying to tell people, don't let my wife, sweet, innocent, soft voice fool you. You come over with some foolishness, you just might get cussed out. She from 39th and Federal, so I'm still praying for her, God is still working with her. She got hood in her, so I try, don't come for her boo. You know what I mean? I told you I'm her rock, but she everything else.
That's crazy.
Can you guys identify 3 things you could do to improve or enhance your marriage?
I know for me, communication is a constant battle. It's a constant battle because I'm non-confrontational.
Right.
You know, I'm non-confrontational, and a lot of men are. We prefer to just, you know, come home, relax, and chill, you know, and not confront. But I recognize there's some things that have to be dealt with. So communication is a constant battle for me.
Encouragement. You know, I need to be his biggest cheerleader. Going to be a helpmate and not a hurtmate.
Ooh, I'm writing that nugget down. Helpmate.
You know, and then everything else is just really teamwork, working together, and really just continually enhancing and continually working on, because you will always have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. You know, so what's good this week may not be good next week.
Yeah.
You know? It's just being able to identify where you're lacking at right now and giving 100% all the time.
And being supportive. I mean, a lot of people say marriage is 50-50. Marriage is never 50-50. It's giving your best every time you can. So you may be 80 today and 20 tomorrow, you know, but if you're doing your best, your 20% is the best you can give it, you know, and never, ever give everything to the outside and come home empty. Right.
Even to the church.
Right.
Even to the church. Because your ministry, your home, your marriage is your first ministry.
Yeah.
You know.
You're definitely right about that. Definitely. And I think that's some of our because all of these questions we set up and we asked each other. And I think communication was definitely one. You can always improve communication. Always.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with improving communication. There's no such thing as perfect communication. But there's a such thing as working on perfect communication. Right. As long as we're, like you said, as long as we're giving our all to make sure we communicate. And that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, even if you have a misunderstanding in communication, you say, okay, I hear you saying this. Let's let you know that I hear you, baby. I hear what you're saying. So because I hear what you're saying, let me tell you how I perceive it, what my feeling actually was, and let's figure out how we can move that. That's the best part of communication.
Absolutely.
One good thing about her or my wife is her encouragement. Like I feel like she got like a sixth sense about it, which, you know, I'm having a crazy day, and she'll call and like, oh, hey, you know, I like right, just checking on you. You know, like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, I'm glad your spidey senses was going off. I needed to hear your voice to bring me back down to earth, right?
Right.
And so that's one thing that I always love about our marriage, about our relationship, is that she has that sixth sense. And always just the time spending is the other part that we can enhance or improve in our marriage, is that, you know, time is everything. I think I was talking to another couple, a gentleman that just joined my fire department, and I was trying to tell him, like, dude, you could buy her all the things in the world. You can buy her diamond rings, a house, the car. It's not going to mean anything if that time is not there. Right. Time is worth more than diamonds. And when I look at that, I think the first gift that I bought my wife was a Movado watch, trying to impress her. A Movado watch. This before we was even married. This was just in courtship. Right, we're trying to seal the bag, as the kids say. Right, so I got a Movado watch.
Seal the deal early.
Right, and so all of those things had nothing to compare to just the time that she wants, and that's all it is. And once I figured that out, it was like a light bulb, or somebody slapped me in the back of the head. It was like, ha ha, you know, just give her that time.
Communication.
It was communication.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What advice would you give an engaged or newlywed couple?
Communicate. No, just kidding. Be intentional. Be intentional. Do things that has meaning and purpose. Don't just do things just because. I know you were saying don't just get married just because it's the next thing to do.
Don't get married because it's the next step in the process. I see so many couples fail because they've dated for so many years, and now they feel like the next step is to get married. You know, people really need to evaluate whether or not that person is your spouse. Just because they're your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they may not be your husband or your wife. And it's okay to walk away from a relationship that's not going anywhere. It doesn't have to go to the next level. And I always look at people. I remember a couple that we talked with that I really knew. I'm like, they should not get married. Y'all shouldn't get married. Y'all need to wait. I think they were separated within a year. Absolutely. Yeah. They were separated within a year because that was the next thing. That was the next step. You know, and when you get married, remember that three-strand cord is not easily broken. Yeah. It is husband, wife, and God. You know, put God in the middle of your marriage from the beginning. You won't have to invite him in to clean up the mess somewhere along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. My mother figured Deacon Denise Scott wrote her thesis when she was becoming a doctor in theology. She stated in her thesis that sometimes God have that person that is like right for us, and it's us that go off that path. You know, we be headed towards that path, and we be going the right way, and then we go off to our own beaten path, trying to take a shortcut. And then we meet this person and we think like, oh, this the person is all good. You know, they cute, they fine. You know, they drive a nice car. They got a nice body. Let's be real. You know, they got a nice body, and we off the beaten path. And so now we making this seasonal person a lifetime person, right? And that's not what it's meant. And so I think that the best thing that we can do is like make sure that this person is the one for you. You know, make sure that just like you said, this is not the next step. You know, this is just not what we supposed to do because that's what everybody say. One of our shirts that we got that we will be wearing on one of these episodes, it says boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband. And each line is crossed out when we pass that part. And the last one that just say husband and wife, right?
Right.
So make sure you crossing these things off. When you crossing those things off, make sure that everything that you are doing, make sure that everything that is lining up with what you want out of life, what you want in a spouse, what you want in a relationship. I will always say that the best thing, and this is a nugget from C2B1, do a vision board. That was the best thing that I ever done. And I even took that to my day-to-day job, is that every year we do a vision board on what we want to do throughout that year, right? And so not just that year, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years, 5 years, right? And so that's something that is excellent to do in your marriage in the beginning, while you still courting. Do a vision board to see if you guys are like-minded, see if you guys are on the same page,
in the same direction,
right? Yeah, because you might be in one book and your spouse is in another book, right? And then they at the end of the book and you still at the beginning on the title page.
One thing I always caution couples too is pay attention to your mate, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, because people will hang around just because they're comfortable. Yeah, they will hang around because they're comfortable, and they recognize they don't really want to go anywhere in a relationship, but they don't want to go anywhere because they want to be by themselves. Okay, but we all know that guy who was in a long-term relationship, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, wouldn't do right, wouldn't commit, break up with her, and 6 months to a year later he married.
Yep.
That's because he found his wife. Yeah. He was just comfortable with you. Yeah. Stop letting people fill space in your life because they're stopping your mate, they're stopping your spouse from finding you because they're in that space.
Yeah. Yeah, find out if that joker needs somewhere to sleep for the next 2 weeks. See if his rent was paid or if he got put out first.
What they call them homosexuals.
Yeah. I need a place to stay for right now. Right. This is convenient. You know, you see that way too often. You know, and so you just got to make sure that you guys are like-minded and on the right page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Final question.
When you look back to your worst moments, what kept you from throwing in the towel?
Whew.
I particularly saved this question for you guys.
Right.
You got some really good nuggets.
Trusting God, not man. Trusting God, not man. Had I put all my trust in my husband, I would have given up. Man will let you down, and woman will let you down many times.
Yeah.
I literally had to say, okay, God, this is your project. I can't fix him. Here I am. What do I do from here on out? And I had to trust God.
And you trust in. My motto became, if I can trust God, if I trust God, I can trust any man. If I can trust God, I can trust anyone. And that's true. But what's that song? I can't think of the name of, but can't think of the artist, but Deliver Me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain point in your life you can't even trust yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to
Andrew Johnson.
Yeah. You have to put all your trust in Christ. You have to trust him, because our marriage was at a point where we should, based on statistics, based on standards, we should have been divorced. We should have been gone. For a period of about 2 years, functionally, we didn't speak. Absolutely. She didn't speak to me for a period of about 2 years. And I was praying for God to release me from the marriage. You know, but God said two things. He said one main thing. He said, we said two things. He said, trust me. But he said, if you have to fix what you broke.
Yeah.
You have to fix what you broke. And he sent me on a path, you know, and we both have our part to play. But my responsibility is my responsibility. I can look at her and say, well, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, I had to do what I had to do. And like she said, God had to work on her. I couldn't fix her. God had to work on her. You know, so I really had to spend some time with God and learn how to be the husband I needed to be for the wife that I wanted, and put myself out there over a period of time. And it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight because I was reaching out and I was praying and I was doing stuff, and it wasn't being reciprocated.
I was rejecting them.
Right. You know,
I was.
So, so when people say, well, you can't fight for marriage by yourself, for a time you can.
Yeah.
But you're not really fighting by yourself, because you still have that 3-strand cord.
Preach, Doc.
You still have that 3-strand cord. It's never, if you have a 3-strand cord, you're not fighting by yourself. You're fighting with God by your side. And in a lot of cases, he's fighting for you when you can't fight for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's real important. And I won't get into all the details of going in the room, closing the door, and praying at the door so she couldn't get out, and going
because there was a point I didn't even want to pray with him. Like, don't touch me. I didn't want to spell him. You walk in the room, it's like, ugh. And like say he was like, you want to pray? No. So he would like stand at the door, close the door. Then a couple, maybe a week or so later, he'll come in the room and close the door. It wasn't
a week or so. It was several weeks, probably months.
He would come in the room and close the door. Then he would come to the foot of the bed. I'm like, and the whole time I'm like, come on now, dude, don't touch this bed. Don't touch my foot. Don't touch this cover. I'm like praying like he wouldn't do it, because I'm like, okay, if he does it, I have to obey God, because I say, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. This is your project. You fix him. You fix me. You fix the situation. So it's like, at that point, I couldn't no longer because I felt like resisting him. Now I'm resisting God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that. So yeah, it was rough. But trust God, not man.
Yeah, I think the same thing for me. In the beginning. So like before we was married, it was like maybe 3 weeks before the wedding. She say, we laying in bed. She said, baby, maybe we shouldn't do this. I said, time out. We just spent all this money. I said, wait, you can't throw in the towel on me already, baby. We 3 weeks out. Come on now. I started praying right there, like, God, fix it. I had the old Dr. Watts, the whole thing going. I had it down pat. I had to pray to God, like, God, you got to fix this. I don't know what I did, what I said, but you got to fix this, right?
Right.
And so here we are 14 years later, still going strong, and so God is the center of everything.
Yes.
As long as God is in the middle of it, everything around is like almost a force field. When you have God in the middle, you outside of, or like right next to God in the middle of it, that force field is covering you and your spouse.
Exactly.
So everything that's being thrown at you, or everything that is coming your way, is blocked by God. You know, and so you just got to make sure, like you keep saying, is keep the God in the middle.
And one thing I will say is, you know, and I know my wife is thinking about it. One thing that helped us was when we were at one of our worst points. We were out of fellowship. We were out of fellowship and out of relationship with God. We weren't active in ministry. We didn't have a church home. We were still looking. And yeah, people say, well, I can worship God at home. I can do this. But you need the fellowship of the saints. You need that, you know, where they say which two or more are gathered, I will be in the midst. I mean, you need that. You need people to be able to lift you up when you can't hold yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
You know, and if they don't know Christ.
Yeah, and we always say, like that may have been easy because we knew Christ, we knew God, but what about the people who don't know him? You know, what can we tell them? And other than get to know him, you know, there's really nothing that you can do without him. So you have to get to know him. You can't do this on your own.
Yeah. You're so right. You're so right. You got anything you want to share with that?
For me, I put God first, and then I had to learn how to listen to him and then hear him and what he's saying. And
you about to make me cry.
So that helped me.
Right.
You know.
Good.
She listened to me, y'all. And in all honesty, I can tell that she listens. You know, this is truly a soulmate of mine. And so I am so happy and blessed that God literally put us together. And what the Bible say, what God puts together, can't no man put us under.
No man set us under.
It is what it is. She stuck with me. Stuck to me like glue, shouting.
That means you're going to Hawaii. Yay!
I know.
So, thank you for tuning in to
And one thing I'll say, if I can, is marriage is, remember, marriage is a choice. Yeah. Marriage is a choice. We have to decide each and every day that we want to be married and choose to do the things to remain married and be married successfully and have a healthy marriage. Marriage is a choice. It's easy. Well, I shouldn't say it's easy. I mean, being divorced is not easy. Being single is not easy. But marriage is a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah. It's work.
It's work. It's an investment, and you have to become a PhD of your marriage.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you really do. You really do. And you got to never stop learning each other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Never stop learning each other. Right. I think that's one of like the biggest keys is that I continuously, and the best way of keep learning each other is to keep dating each other.
Right. Because people change. When you get older, the things you like when you was 20, you don't like when you're 40.
Yep.
Right.
You know, people change. So you need to constantly like, hey, baby, what you like today? You know, what you want to do today. So. Yeah,
because back in the 20s, I like my feet rubbed, but I don't like them rubbed no more. You know, I done got ticklish over age.
Y'all funny.
Well, thank you guys for being our first guest on this episode of our midweek moment entitled Marriage Matters. If you can, just give us a little bit about you guys, a little quick shout out about C2B1 before we get off.
Okay. So a little bit about us. We've been married, it'll be 30 years in October. We have 5 kids, 3 grandkids, and about C2B1.
Yeah, C2B1. C2B1 is a marriage ministry that we started outside of the church, specifically to reach people who were unchurched. Mm-hmm. That was really the reason for the way it started. We started about 14 years ago, and it really started as the Sweetest Day dinner is what it started as.
With 3 couples.
With 3 couples, the Sweetest Day dinner, and we got together, and it was just such eye-opener. Great conversation and such an eye-opener. We just started and have been going ever since. We've had the pleasure of ministering to, well over a couple hundred couples, 200-300 couples over the years. And it's been a blessing to be able to be a part of a marriage ministry and be a part of enriching marriages. And the one thing that we learned very early on is our mentor told us, when you get involved with marriage ministry, watch your marriage get better. Watch your marriage get better. Yeah. And it's true. It was absolutely true. And
we decided as our motto to becoming better, not bitter.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to be angry with one another, but you ought to become better,
not
strengthen one another instead of bitter.
Wow. Truly. And that's a testament of that. When you do get involved with marriage ministry, it does. Every time we went to a marriage ministry retreat, to a C2B1 retreat, we always came back feeling renewed, refreshed, rejuvenated, stronger. Like literally, and that's like, I can say that without cracking a smile. Like that was like the best times that we really like was able to connect with just us. No job, no children, no grandkids, no nothing. It was just us, no dogs. It was just me and the boo, right? And so to those out there who are looking to get married, if you're looking to enrich in your marriage, know that marriage truly do matters. It matters not just to us, but to God as well. And so with that being said, you guys be blessed. Tune into next week for another episode of Marriage Matters. And we love you guys. Thank you, Coopers. God bless you guys.
Love you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye.